here comes Pete Dunne. Lio Rush isn't worthy of being a champion. The Takeover Philadelphia, Dunne expects it to be coughed up to him. If not, Lio Rush will end by coughing blood. It is about to close out in pretty damn big fashion. Brian Cage one-on-one with Tyler Bate. It's the Velveteen Dream! Velveteen Dream assaulting a weakened down Tyler Bate. Is this a prelude to what we'll see at NXT Takeover Philadelphia? Hello and welcome into this mode. This is NXT, the final show before the Royal Rumble weekend commences right now in the Hammerstein Ballroom. We are of course only a few days away from NXT TakeOver Philadelphia and the Royal Rumble to go along with it. It's going to be a great weekend coming your way, but it would also be a fine edition of NXT coming your way. We of course know there is plenty to talk about here this evening that is coming our way. You see it right there. One of the first contests that we'll be discussing is going to be Hangman Page versus Tyler Bate. That's going to be a very thrilling contest and a great opportunity for Hangman Page against the NXT champion, who lines up of course for his match against the Velveteen Dream. There we go. At NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Bate of course was viciously assaulted by Dream last week during his match with Brian Cage, and now he looks to bounce back from it with a win here this evening, just before that event. However, that is not the main event of the evening. This shall be the main event of the evening. Santana, Garrett, the final member of Trifecta for Toni Storm to go through before she gets her hands inside the steel cage against Tessa Blanchard. Garrett may well be going this one alone, it seems, but does Storm have it in her to conquer over her and then move on to that NXT TakeOver match, that women's title match that means everything to Storm inside the steel cage with no trifecta in sight. That is all to come this evening, where we start things off with the final announcement from the NXT General Manager. And here he comes towards the ring, the NXT General Manager Logan Wayne, taken over as he was always the NXT General Manager, but now he has taken over Stone Cold's role. Stone Cold, of course, used to be the guy who would announce the things, but it seems as if Logan Wayne has, taken the opportunity to stride now, and he has finally been able to do what is necessary of him. Also, I'm pretty sure Corin had a part to play in that as well. Nevertheless, he's not wasting any time. Here is Logan Wayne announcing the fact that we are ready. We are just around the corner from NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. We cannot wait for it, and he ain't gonna waste any time either. Getting into the news of the evening, and that is that at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, Tomohiro Ishii will face off against Brian Cage. That is a huge thing to kick things off here, and the news keeps on coming. Of course, Cage reiterating that last week a vote was put out for the fans to choose the main event of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, and in their numbers they voted, but it was a dominant victory for the Velveteen Dream and Tyler Bate to square off for that NXT title. Logan Wayne thanking them for voting, and on top of that thanking them for choosing the NXT main event that they wanted, not what he wanted. I think I get what he means by that. Logan Wayne does not want to waste any more time either, saying that he thanks everyone who attends week in and week out in the Hammerstein Ballroom, week in and week out, who watches at home. They're the reason why NXT takeovers can happen, and Philadelphia will be just like the rest. Another historic evening for the NXT brand, and another night of action you don't want to miss. It is said before, and he will say it again. The future is now. Right, he is. Well, there you go, a quick and effective message towards TakeOver. Think about it. Some good news announced there, though. We know that Tyler Bate versus Velveteen Dream will main event, and Brian Cage will face Ishii. So some strong announcements there to start us off with NXT, but we must start off with action as well. We must commence with the action, and we're getting a precursor to this weekend's NXT Tag Team title matchup between Matt Hardy and Pentagon Jr., who will be facing SAnitY for those tag team titles. Hardy and Pentagon Jr., a newly formed team, but a team ready nonetheless for their match at TakeOver Philadelphia. The matching colors, of course, to go with them, but it is Hardy who is in action here tonight. It's very interesting to see just the success that has come their way, because these were two guys who were just completely lost. They were completely nowhere. I mean, we hadn't seen Matt Hardy before his return in about 7 months because of guess who? But outside of that, we hadn't seen Hardy since then, and Pentagon Jr. was just on loss after loss after loss. He lost to Heath Slater. That was the most embarrassing loss he could have suffered. But although that has been the case, the formation of this team has been pitch perfect for them, essentially. They won their first match as a team, they won that tag team tournament, and now, of course, this weekend they get ready for their matchup against these guys, the tag team champions, the definitive NXT team, pretty much, of 2018, looking to start off 2019 right. SAnitY heading towards the ring. This time last year they were challenging for those titles again, and they didn't walk out with the belts at NXT TakeOver San Antonio. Will they achieve the right to walk out with their belts this time at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia? Time will only tell, but it's going to be Killian Dain in action here against Matt Hardy. Eric Young and Punishment Martinez will watch on from outside, as of course for Pentagon Jr. So there is a likelihood that something could very well break down between these two sides. Just wait to see what will happen regarding that. If it will, here tonight, or if they will wait until TakeOver. See these three men walking towards the ring, and you realize that whenever SAnity's time is up in NXT, whenever they do go to the big stages, to the main roster, whatever roster it's going to be, it's a huge arrival for everyone to take in. It is something that they're going to have to be braced for and ready for. It's not going to be something that they're just going to be, it's not something that you're just going to see and just be like, oh yeah, that's just SAnitY. No. They've proven on NXT how they want to do things, and whenever this trio makes its way up to the main roster, it's going to be decisive, and it's going to be deadly. I have no doubt about it in my mind that it will be a very deadly occasion when SAnitY go to Raw, SmackDown, or Dread B, ECW. We will find out, though, in the future, because, well, I'm just talking about the future right now. The present, as it is happening, and SAnitY, of course, have those tag team titles around their waist, and they don't exactly show much signs of letting go of them either. Saw them last week in tag team action against the duo known as Perfect, and they were ruthless in that match. They were decisive, and, well, I say they. Killian Dain was the real guy in that one, leading the charge, pretty much dictating how things should go. He didn't tag out for ages in that match. He wanted to end the match to send a message to these two guys, and he did just that, pinning, I believe it was Ty Dillinger he pinned with the Ulster Plantation. We'll see if he'll do the same against Hardy here. Big elbow there to start that powerbomb elbow combination to start things off in this one. Hardy is a little bit on the back foot. He's got a weight advantage to overcome. Height is roughly the same, but that weight advantage is crucial given the power that we know Killian Dain has within him. Hardy, though, does have the experience advantage. It's mad to believe that a guy like this used to be the WWE champion. And not only used to be just a WWE champion, at a time it was, I believe, for about 6 or 7 months, he held the record as the longest reigning champion. That record now, of course, belonging to Bobby Fish. Cover made here by Hardy on Dain early on in this contest. Kick out at 1. It's the first time these teams have had any altercation in general. Nothing backstage, nothing in terms of talking to one and talking. Well, there was there was talking down to one another. There was Hardy last week saying they were ready and saying that SAnitY were unprepared for the revolution that was about to take place and they would be deleted. And it certainly seems to be the case that, well, Killian Dain didn't exactly listen to that, and he's just doing as he pleases right now. But Hardy is fighting back here. Nice neck breaker there, has control of him. Locking that huge arm of Killian Dain in there, trying to stop him from fighting on here. Dain has no problem getting out of that hold, however. Oh my goodness. Huge running kick in the face there for Matt Hardy to endure. And a running splash right after it as well. Hardy could actually be in jeopardy right now. Pentagon Jr. hasn't done anything on the outside. He's just been watching on as Killian Dain now is starting to run roughshod over Matt Hardy. And this is not something that these two need so close to NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Hardy, though, still fighting back right now. Turning around Killian Dain. I think he's going to use momentum against him to send him into that ring pole. Went for the running knee, however, couldn't connect, but Hardy does stay up on his feet. Side effect! Side effect connects, covers Dain, looking to put him away, and Killian Dain kicks out at 1 like it was nothing at all. But oh, look who's getting involved now. This is a sight we've seen more than once. Punishment Martinez will cause the distraction and Dain will take full advantage. Oh, the boot in the face again. And in the corner of SAnitY, Hardy was a victim to what they do and to their ways. And this could be a prelude to Takeover. Ulster Plantation connects. The cover is made on Matt Hardy. And the broken one has been beaten. Killian Dain continuing his stretch of victories. And this one sustained over Matt Hardy. SAnitY are a cause to be reckoned with. And look at that, working as they did in that match. Doing things the way they wanted. And Punishment Martinez, with that split-second distraction, won it for them. We've seen Martinez do that before. Will he do it again this weekend? Will he cost Hardy and Pentagon Jr. the titles? Or could we be seeing brand new, wonderful champions? It really is a guessing game, because these two teams just haven't done that much together. But in their one-on-one confrontation, safe to say Dain, pretty damn unstoppable. That is that. But speaking of unstoppable guys, coming up next is well, it's Brian Cage in action, and he wants to send one last message to Tomohiro Ishii. And well, it was last-minute news, but it was news nonetheless. Brian Cage and Tomohiro Ishii will get to do battle this weekend. And I, for one, am very, very excited for it, and I think so too will be Cage and Ishii. They've been wanting to do battle. They have been doing battle in their own way these last few weeks. And I'm doubly excited for it because guess what we get to see? Two horses running into each other and seeing who'll fall over. Yes! Yes, please. I'm all for it. Sign me up on the dotted line to watch that one. Brian Cage heading towards the ring here to send his final message towards Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii is not here tonight. Actually isn't here tonight. This isn't one of those debated ones where he ends up showing up and attacking Cage. He actually isn't here tonight. I know at the Hammerstein Ballroom, the place is pretty small. But Cage is, he's going to be in action here tonight, just going through another local talent in order to cement his standing that he believes he has over NXT, just days, of course, before Takeover Philadelphia. And I think the honest reality is that how long it took Cage's entrance, probably going to be longer than the match itself. We'll see, though. This one begins. Oh, running in with that shoulder tackle came Brian Cage, and he is not looking like showing any mercy as this one gets underway. Stomping away on him from the very get-go. Cage might be looking to just dominate this man from start to finish here and show what he is all about. Just before NXT TakeOver. Oh my, what a running lariat there. This guy better hope and pray for the very best, to be honest, because Brian Cage does not seem like he's in a mood to let up as well. And I am just watching this right now. This is what we're being treated to here. We are just watching decimation coming at the hands of Brian Cage. Discus forearm. Oh my god, he counted something. That was stupid. Wasn't brave, it was stupid. Just take your beating. Cage in with a spinning power slam, I guess. And there we go. There's the discus forearm. You can roll as far as you want. Try rolling up the ramp. See if that'll get you away from Brian Cage at all. Oh, God. Here comes the agility of this man. Look at that. That's something that Tomohiro Ishii doesn't have, that he's going to have to deal with heading into this weekend. The scary agility of Brian Cage. Running bulldog here. Oh my goodness. Cage taken off his feet. Well, it's the first time and maybe the only time it's happened in this match where he got that lucky. And he's not feeling lucky right now as the blood rushes to his head. And Cage just holds him there for as long as he desires. Stalling vertical suplex. Cage is just in the driver's seat right now, free to do as he pleases. This match has actually lasted far longer than I was expecting, if I'm being honest. Maybe Cage is feeling in a generous mood. Oh, wow, he went for the discus clothesline. The counter was pulled out. Went for the running knee. He got countered. Can't believe he countered it. That's not going to leave Brian Cage all that happy, however. And we're seeing it right now. Big tie back suplex. Think of all the ferocity that is put in that move simply because Brian Cage is executing it. Still trying to fight back in this one, though. Not too, oh, my goodness. Well, that just proved out how stupid of an idea it was to try and fight back. Cage. Nice move there. Goes into a crossroads and just never gives his opponent time to recover. Always lifting them up. And there's the discus clothesline. And that will lead into the move to finish this thing off. And the move that may finish off Ishii this weekend and continue on Cage's undefeated streak. Weapon X. Cover made. Oh, dear. Oh, now you've just pissed off Brian Cage. Well, let's see what else Cage has got up his sleeve to end things here. Oh, it's just going to be the discus clothesline. Cage isn't interested in playing about. He has sent his message to Ishii. And he will see him this weekend at Takeover. And he will look to take care of him as well when they meet in their grudge match. Victory for Brian Cage, sustained. Last week has been... Oh, boy. Oh, God. Maybe things haven't ended just yet. One last piece to the puzzle. Drill claw from Cage. Now his message has been sent. Ishii, this could be you. At NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, and the way Brian Cage is running about, he sees it as the only way that match will close. Well, we continue on here with the action on NXT TakeOver. No, it's not NXT TakeOver yet. It's NXT. This man may not have seen victory last week, and he might not see it again here tonight. Ty Dillinger, though, going to be in one-on-one action against Pete Dunne. What should be a very interesting contest for Dillinger. You know, I talked about last week about how he has been able to excel almost, how he's been able to increase his stock value as a result of the tag team with EC3. But can he use that to his advantage here tonight in order to try and pick up a very surprising victory over Pete Dunne just days before NXT TakeOver? The thing is, say Dillinger wins here, and then Dunne goes on to win the global title back at TakeOver, then what? I mean, surely you'd have to say that Ty Dillinger would probably deserve an opportunity at the belt by that point. I mean, having defeated the now current NXT Global Champion by that point, surely Dillinger would be first in line for a shot at the belt. I mean, it's just a thought. It's a very interesting thing that could definitely transpire, but I'll tell you one thing that this guy sees, and it is only victory above everything else. He does not intend to let Ty Dillinger beat him here, and nor does he intend to let Lio Rush walk out of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia with that global championship still around his waist. No plans of that whatsoever. Dunne last week, as we saw, said to Rush that pretty much his days were numbered. He didn't deserve the belt. That was the real one that hit home. He wasn't worthy of being a champion in Dunne's eyes. Well, Dunne can prove that statement to be true this weekend by taking that global title away from Lio Rush and taking it back for himself. The longest reigning NXT Global Champion in the history of this universe. Can he continue on that legacy for himself with a victory here tonight over Ty Dillinger, which of course could lead into a victory over Lio Rush come NXT TakeOver Philadelphia? We are about to find out here. I am intrigued to see how this one will go. Dillinger definitely with a chip on his shoulder to try and get a big match victory for himself here. Let's see if he can do that. Comes out swinging though with a lariat there. Nice lariat as well. Followed through with it on Dunne. But the Bruiserweight doesn't take too kindly to it there. Hard shot. And instantly trying to overpower the taller Tye Dillinger, but still just looking to overpower him as soon as he can. Stomping away at him right now. Dillinger in a spot of trouble right now, but he is fighting back here. Again, Dunne trying to just get something going for him. Dunne's trying to get something going for him right now. Dillinger is... he is frustrating him a little bit on the starter motor, I guess you could say. Lifts him up on his shoulders. Could be something big here. It'll be a big counter by Tye Dillinger with that implant DDT there. And now he'll bring him up on his shoulders. Tye Dillinger might be looking for a Death Valley driver of his own. And he will get it. And he'll go in for the cover on Pete Dunne, hoping that he can put him away. Cover made. Kick out at 1 though. He quickly got up to his feet there. And a big counter from Pete Dunne. Certainly showing his aggression right now. Look at how things just turn around in basically the snap of a finger for Pete Dunne, and he does enjoy doing that as well. Dunne has Dillinger up on that top rope. Dangerous for both. Superplex connects. And Dillinger suddenly at the mercy of Pete Dunne. Kick out at 1, however. Good counter from Dillinger. They're starting to strike back. Chop in the chest. Quick jab to follow up after it. And Tye Dillinger now starting to make his fight back here. This is not what Pete Dunne wants so close to NXT TakeOver. Of course, he wants to have dominated this match. Well, he wants this match to be over by now. Definitely not be in a match where Tye Dillinger still is standing a chance of getting back in this one. Float over DDT there, and Dillinger trying to claw himself back up to his feet right now. Has him up against the ropes. Irish whip here. Off the ropes comes Tye Dillinger into a snap German suplex. Will that be enough to finish off the perfect 10? He's hanging on in there, but he might not be for much longer. Look at the way in which Lio Rush intends to finish things off here. Just dropping him with that suplex. Into the cover he goes. Is it all done for here for Dillinger? It's a kick out at 2. Dillinger still staying alive. Oh, but it might not be for much longer. This could be Rush's fate at TakeOver Philadelphia. Bitter end! 1, 2, and 3. Pete Dunne, your winner over Tye Dillinger. And will we be seeing your new NXT Global Champion in just a few days at Philadelphia? We will find out, but there is your winner this evening. Look at this! Rush storming the ring to confront the man he faces at that event. And would you take a look at this? Face to face they are, and oh, Pete Dunne scrubbing the face of Lio Rush and getting out of dodge before Rush can even get his hands on him. There'll be nowhere to run come TakeOver. What a stare down right there, and no surprise really that Dunne went about things that way, staring down the man he faces, of course, in just a few days, and shrugging him off as well. Well, that is all to come this weekend, of course, but it's time for the NXT Champion to be in action right now, and a very strong competitor he has as well. Hangman Page. Last time we saw Hangman Page in action, he was taking on Brian Cage one-on-one. It was a strong showing by Hangman Page, but it wasn't enough to walk out with the victory. Just plain and simple, it was not. However, another grand chance has been gifted the way of this man. That being against Tyler Bate here. It's a real strong chance for him to pull out a huge win. And what it would be an upset win as well, going by the current momentum of Tyler Bate. You know, there has been certainly showings that Bate is a little bit tested by Velveteen Dream. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of momentum, I mean, Brian Cage is probably the only one who compares on NXT compared to Tyler Bate. Victory after victory, the crowd completely on his side. NXT champion. These are great things that Bate possesses right now. And of course, Bate looks to defend in the main event of TakeOver against Velveteen Dream. Dream closed out last week by attacking him, assaulting him, and laying him out in the ring with the Purple Rainmaker, interrupting the match between Bate and Brian Cage. But I don't know if that'll be the same case here this evening. I think Bate might be taking this this match with a head over his shoulder. An eye turned around basically to the back of his head at all time. So always keep an eye out for if the Velveteen Dream shows up, because the reality is if he does, Bate might be in trouble. But Bate in the same breath cannot afford to spend all match looking over his shoulder, seeing if Velveteen Dream's going to make an appearance or not, because the reality is Hangman Page is not that kind of guy that you can afford to do that against. Hangman Page is a very talented athlete, and a match like this can certainly prove it as well for him. So here we go, calling about tie-up between the two. Just hanging up in the corner right now between the two. Clean break. Oh, Bate getting aggressive. Getting a little bit testy there with a cheap shot in the corner. And Hangman Page didn't seem to take too kindly to it. But neither did Bate. Look at these two guys now off the start here. Back and forth colliding with one another. Good counter from Hangman Page there. Back suplex. Gonna get the NXT champion with it. This is a chance for Page to prove the man of NXT is certainly the general manager, what he is capable of. And coming out of NXT TakeOver, what he may have going for him as well. Page, big back suplex there, and Bate hits hard on the mat. Big super kick there by Hangman Page, and he is, as it currently stands, he is the one in control of this matchup, but oh, good counter by Bate there. Just a quick kick to the leg, and all of a sudden the things can turn around. Oh, the Rampage DDT there. A standing shooting star press coming up right after it as well. Tyler Bate is exploding away with offense right now. But so too is Hangman Page, looking to deny all of it as well and just shut him down as best he can. Counters from both camps. Page ran into the Hurricanrana there, and Bate, as a result of it, is standing tall in this moment, something that he definitely will be wanting to do against the Velveteen Dream. Lariat to the outside goes Hangman Page, and Bate, certainly with the aggression he's gained over these last few months, will be looking to use the outside to his advantage. Hangman Page, though, coming out with the counter. And a neck breaker on the outside, but not colliding with the mat at all, but he will be going into those steel barricades. And this is not going to forgive him at all. Those railings do not forgive. They hurt, that's for certain. Hangman Page lifting him up. Discus forearm gets countered there. Back suplex gets countered there. Big counters from both sides in that moment. Page lifts Bate up on his shoulders. Could we see another Death Valley driver in this evening? Yes, we can. Standing shooting star press from Hangman Page there. Great move. Great agility showing as he continues to try and make a name for himself right now in this match against the NXT champion. Big lariat in the turnbuckle. Lion salt from him as well. Cover made. Is it enough to put away Tyler Bate? It is not. But I'll tell you one thing that happens the longer this match goes on, the more confident Velveteen Dream might be feeling about this Sunday. No, it's not Sunday, sorry. About this weekend at TakeOver. The longer this goes on, less time Bate has to recover as well. So that might be something that definitely will be a very good idea in the mindset of the Velveteen Dream, just to see how long Hangman Page can keep this match going on, and see how long Tyler Bate will be tested for as well. Rolling wheel kick from Bate, and the answer of him being tested might be not that much longer, because Bate is in right now, and he's looking to put things away. Tyler driver to Page. 1, 2, and 3. There will be a time and a date for Hangman Page to make a name for himself on NXT, but today was not that day. Bate wins. Oh no, but his evening isn't over. Velveteen Dream is standing right there, and Tyler Bate can't stand any longer. He's going right for the Velveteen Dream. The referee is trying to do his best to tell him to stand back, but it's Dream and it's Bate, and here we go. Bate snapped. Bate couldn't hold it in any longer, and he's trying to go after the Velveteen Dream here. The fight is on just days before the main event of TakeOver. I think Tyler Bate is starting to snap under the pressure maybe that is coming his way. And all that the Velveteen Dream has done to get under his skin to go with it. That much I truthfully stand by. Well, we'll see just what that outcome will be come this weekend. We will see how things will go at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. I'm excited for it. I very much am so excited for what will happen. But it is the main event of this evening. Santana, Garrett of Trifecta will take on Toni Storm. And a fucking huge head. Anyway, of course we've seen her go through Jazzy Gabert. We've seen her go through Charlotte as well. Now all that's left for sorry, I'm completely blanking. For Toni Storm is Tessa Blanchard inside that steel cage, but in a very important match, remember. A few weeks ago it was declared. Storm agreed to it. If she couldn't beat Blanchard in that steel cage, she wouldn't challenge for the NXT Women's title so long as Blanchard held it. And that is something that she has agreed to. And of course it was Storm who decided as well that it would be held inside of the steel cage. We'll see what will happen this evening. I'll be honest, I was actually kind of expecting that to be the main event of the TakeOver, but it was not the case. 2018 was a huge year for the women's division, of course, of NXT. Really a trendsetter in many ways. The first ever women's elimination chamber match. Fatal 4-ways, very personal matches as well. And again, here tonight, main eventing an edition of NXT. And it almost being the norm. Toni Storm has main evented a lot of episodes of NXT in the last few weeks and months as well. She main events another one against a member of Trifecta. The last member of Trifecta in her way for her to go through before Tessa Blanchard. We know that Trifecta, of course, will not be in that steel cage match at all. They won't be a ringside. They are banned from ringside, and the steel cage is going to be in place so that there is no chance of them making their way into that cage whatsoever, and into that match either. It's going to be a thrilling conclusion to a huge rivalry between those two women. There is no doubting it. As for right now, I think Storm just wants to get through Santana Garrett as quick as she can. Prove her point, prove her statement, and just be ready for Tessa Blanchard. It's Garrett's job, of course, to hurt Storm as much as he can. To set her back. To make sure that Storm is not going to get the evening she wants, the outcome she wants. And to make sure that Trifecta have a kind of a chip on their shoulder, I think is the best way of saying it. Earlier today, Toni Storm saw the steel cage that was going to be used for NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, and Storm said that during a match she wanted it hung above the ring on the roof of the Hammerstein Ballroom. I'll be honest, I was surprised the Hammerstein Ballroom could hold it, but it can. Clearly, the arena the building having gone under some renovations since we became tenants, essentially, of it week in and week out for NXT. Forearm in the face there by Storm. Although that steel cage may be hanging above Toni Storm, and she knows where her fate lies this weekend, she has to pay attention to this match right now. She cannot let herself, much like Bate earlier, she cannot let herself be blinded by something else that will take her off her intended path, that will take her off where she needs to be, what she needs to be looking at, and who she needs to be taking care of as well on the final show before TakeOver. This could be the final NXT where Tessa Blanchard is the NXT Women's Champion. This could also be the final NXT where Toni Storm is eligible to challenge for Tessa Blanchard's NXT Women's Championship. One of those two will be the truth at the end of TakeOver Philadelphia. Santana Garrett is taking some charger over Storm. And Storm isn't exactly doing her best job right now, but here we go. Dragon Suplex connects, cover on Santana Garrett. Looking to put her away there, but kicking out at the count of one there. Toni Storm, wait a minute, Storm out of the blue, strong zero to Garrett, struck out of nowhere, but it's not enough. Too soon to finish the deal. I think Toni Storm might have been hoping that the element of surprise would have added further damage to that move and really helped her get the victory that she needed. Storm kicking her away. Sorry, Santana Garrett kicking her away. Hurricanrana after it as well. Knee in the face of Toni Storm. Cover made here by Garrett, and it is, as I said, it is of paramount importance that she gets this win. For trifecta. Everything almost is relying on her, and Garrett's going to line up a big super kick. A long way to travel, and oh, she nailed her with it still. Cover Storm. Is it enough for victory here? No, Storm doesn't even pay attention to it almost. Kicks out early on, and Garrett's going to be frustrated with that one. In the turnbuckle we go. Big running knee. Shining Wizard comes after it. What? No, the Bulldog comes after it, sorry. Shining Wizard Bulldog combo. Huge head of steam when Garrett connected with it. Is it going to be enough for victory over Toni Storm? It is not. Storm powering that shoulder up there at 2, but she needs to try and end things right now. And that looks like she most certainly is going to try. Getting right up to her feet there. Counter made, however. Big back suplex coming after it as well. Storm able to get up to her feet. Can she capitalize with this further now? Storm now looking to get brutal a little bit. Oh my goodness, throw away. Double unhook suplex there by Toni Storm. No mercy in that one whatsoever. Storm in here, big running knee. Huge running knee to Garrett. Will that finish her off and send Storm on the path to takeover? It will. Storm wins. Storm wins. And that is a huge win for her. But the victory's short-lived. Here comes Blanchard. Now Blanchard is assaulting her. Blanchard calling for the cage to be lowered. I said he was hanging above Storm's head. Well, now it's going to be beside them both as we close out this edition of NXT. Storm fighting back though. Storm fighting back. And Blanchard's on the back foot, but she has nowhere to go. The cage is down. And Storm sending Blanchard out of the cage. Not once, but twice. Will this be the fate of Blanchard come takeover?